Greetings and welcome to another excellent World of Tanks video. And this one is probably more excellent for me than anyone else, and you'll see why it's fairly obvious, or will become fairly obvious momentarily. You've seen the title already, and so you're probably curious. Well, now why am I showing you General George S. Patton? Well, because I wanted to put a legendary American commander in my tank for the quest I was undertaking, or at the time about to undertake. And this quest was something I did not set out to do. I just did it because of what I had seen. And I know this sounds very, what do you call this? Clandestine, that's the word. So I was working, really wasn't working, I was working on something completely different. And then I looked, at my video. It reminded me of the game that we had played. That was Bernie, Brownie, and myself. We played a 3-man game on the Abbey in Tier 2s, in which I used Tier 2 artillery. So I thought, well, let me go look on the stats board and see, because it was a really good game for me. And let me see what the stats were. And when I saw the stats, it was a complete eye-opener. I'm like, oh, wow, I had no idea. And then I saw it had jacked up my ranking on that tank, and it made me think about it. So it wasn't, an immediate conclusion that I reached. I like, okay, that was really awesome. I went back and was doing whatever regular stuff. It didn't really matter. And then I thought, well, that was a really great game, but, I could do better. I thought I could do better. I mean, I had a good solid game, like 5 kills, about 1,000 damage. That video is up right now. So it's, we could go look at that specifically. But I saw that, and I said, well, you know what? Let me go take a shot and see if I can replicate any of that. And I'm going to show you that stat page and that stuff that I'm talking about, because it's gone now. That time has passed. It's in the next day after, or the next session after that. So let me go get the tank. Okay. This is my Tier 2 T1HMC. Now, the curiosity was that essentially what happened, this was the very first artillery that I used. Might have been day 1, actually, for day 2 for sure, back in the beta. Well, okay. Now, that may be not correct. As soon as it showed up, I used it. Now, if that was day 1, fine. If it was day 2, fine. Whatever. I don't know. I mean, the very first thing we did was we got, or had to choose Tier 1 tanks, just the absolute bottom of the barrel. Okay, so we did that, and you had to earn a certain amount of experience to get a Tier 2 tank. I believe that this was available then. If it was, it fine. If it wasn't, fine. Whenever this came up, that's what it was. But my best recollection is that this was available. But if somebody knows for sure, please correct me. But anyway, as soon as this was available, this was the first artillery that I got. And I used this, learned how to do the artillery. Not a big deal. I had a lot of experience in artillery in another game, but that's completely separate. And that's why I wanted to play artillery, because I understood the value of artillery that others did not quite grasp for the most part. Some did, some didn't. So, and I played this and basically played it, got the tier 3 qualification or whatever, and pretty much for the most part only played it a couple of times sparingly. So, basically it's tier 1, you get out of tier 1, you get to tier 2, you get your tier 2, unlock a tier 3, and for the most part you're going to go directly to tier 3 and stop playing for the most part tier 2. Now in those days, garage spots were limited, but I still kept it because, well, this is my first artillery. It's a sentimental thing. Top kept his tier 1 T-22 prototype because of the sentimental value. That was his first tank. So I can completely identify with him on that one with this tank. So I kept it for sentimental reasons and didn't think much of it. I mean, I played probably a handful of matches here and there. Overall, I had played about 70 total matches before I played, or whatever it was, 68, something like that, before I played with Bernie and Brownie. And I said, hey, let's just go do a wacky match, because, Fish and Wrongway had talked about tier 2 artilleries and you can't get matches very much because hardly anyone uses them. I said, well, let's go give that a shot. I go, if we can do that, man, we'll be awesome. And we got that match and we were awesome. So that was fantastic, because we got a crucial contribution in that match with tier 2s and pretty esoteric stuff. So it was really fun. And that's when I went back and said, man, I had a really good game. And as an artillery guy, if I have a good game, I'm thinking I can replicate that essentially. Now, I have replicated that. But, in fact, I've even done better than that. But that's, a bonus. So, but my immediate return was like, man, I can't hardly get matches in this dude. Wait 5 minutes, kick you to the garage. Start again, wait 5 minutes, kick you to the garage. So, okay, I ended up getting a couple of games. But anyway, we'll get to that momentarily. Let's look at this briefly, shall we? Basic stuff, fully upgraded, obviously. Just one gun, one extra engine, one extra chassis, suspension, one extra radio, got that. Basic stuff. Here's the dealio. Anti-ramming. Reload help. Speeds up your aim and then increases your vision. And we have, just in case, because this is the thing I'm doing. Normally I would not put gold medicine and gold repair, but when I tell you what I did, you'll understand why. Gold rations, awesome help for your reload, for your aim, and your vision. Because what I was planning on doing here, let me get to the commander. And I thought about it, I said, I need to have a great commander. So, I want a legend, I got a legend. And then I said, I'm going to swap out guys, get this guy, 8 skills. Let's go hardcore. So here's what we got. Born Leader. This does the same thing as rations. It makes your reload, your aim, and your vision increased. Well, the skills increase. So it reduces the length of the reload. Reduces the inaccuracy number of the aim. Armor angling. The only defense you can put on an artillery. Minus 5% damage. Maximum vision with binoculars. Maximum camouflage by adding camouflage expertise. Controlled impact. This is anti-ramming. And then run and gun. If I have to somehow move and shoot, I know it's an ultra rarity. There's really nothing else I could do. I could put, what is it? the green thumb. But, whatever. I figure this is an extreme challenge where I'm trying, it could be, I need offense more so than the camo. So I went with running gun as an off chance that I might need to move and kill a guy. It's highly unlikely, and so far I had never have used it. But it's just a kind of a gamble. Another good one would have been Last Stand. Yeah, well, it was 50-50 on Last Stand or running gun. I went with running gun. But objectively speaking, looking back, Last Stand would have been the better choice, as I got into some Last Stand situations. And, whatever. So that's all good. All right, Patton. So I had this ready to go and give this the best I could do for this challenge. Okay, here we are. Now, what you see, I played a game today. In fact, I'm going to show you the game that I played today. And it was a pretty monstrous game, actually. Well, actually, I had two games. The first game was a 15-man, completely unfair match, where one team had a Thresher and the other team did not. I was on the team that did not have the Thresher, so we got killed because I drilled that guy and couldn't kill him, and my other guys on my team had no clue what they were doing. A tier 2 is just not good enough to kill a Thresher head-to-head. But I drilled him. I did okay, nothing spectacular. But I had a legitimate tier 2 match, artillery versus artillery, 7 versus 7. And that was a phenomenal score. That's the game I'm going to show you from today that jacked up my score to 6786. So I'm going to show you this. Let's go over here. And I'm going to show you what the current leaderboard standings are. Now this is the period stats, would be 30 days, 90 days, 60 days, 30, 60, 90 career. Okay. So like I said, in the career, I was goofing around primarily. Okay, back in the early days. What really matters is this 30 days, which is the most recent, actually, like 10 days. 10, no, probably 25 days anyway. That's when the game, the crucial contribution game that we won. And in those days, my record is 84%, which is a nasty record. I've not lost more than one game in any day that I've played since that day. That was the 24th of June. Just to give you a heads up. So, let's go look here. Session stats. All right. Now, the one that's missing, the one that disappeared most recently, it shows you 5 days worth or 5 sessions of playing. The one that's missing is the one game we played that I made a video on from 6/24/2023, which was, June the 24th. That was a 22,000 win 8 game. So the win 8 is just the scoring, where the numbers come from, like you see in this big giant purple circle. That's the win 8. This is my overall average during the last 30 days. So the next day that I came back to try and see what I could do, I had 7 matches, won 6 of those 7 with a 12,000. Pretty good. I was killing maybe like 2 and 3 guys a game for the most part. Then I came back the 11th. That was a Saturday. And was that Saturday? Gotta remember. What's today? No. Oh, no, the 9th. It was the 9th. That was Sunday. Sorry. I got this wrong. It was Sunday I came back on the 9th. I lost the second day. The 9th. Oh, man, that was a great game. That was a great day. I had 9 games that I got Sunday just goofing around. That was when I knew I had a chance. I won 8 of those 9 games with a monster score, and I saw my score was climbing. So then I came back, and this is Monday. The 11th is Tuesday. 12th is Wednesday. This is Thursday, yesterday. 28,900 in one game was a monster score. Now I've seen higher, but in this tank, this is awesome. I had a first class badge performance in that game. It was awesome. This was today. The first game was a tier 3 game. The second game was another monster. That's the one I'm going to show you. Okay, so you're seeing that my performances were just nasty. Just nasty. And this is the last 5 sessions, including today. So here is the 90-day standings. Now, those didn't show up until yesterday because I didn't have enough games to qualify. When you need 30 games to qualify, it tells you right here, minimum 30 battles. So as of yesterday and last night, this was the 90-day, or in this case 30 days really, because I haven't been doing this for 30 days. So really, but in the last 90 days, I'm the only guy that's really been playing an appreciable number of games because it's hard to get a match. And I had just a monster performance during these last, since the last days since June 24th. Okay. It was June 24th, July 3rd, and then starting the 9th, I played every day. Okay, so I had really 2 days of just random playing, and then 6 days, and today's the 6th consecutive day where I had really started this project. And that project was going to lead me, because I was looking at the numbers. I'm like, dude, I'm going to crush this guy who was sitting on the top of this board. And so I bypassed him and crushed him. He never saw it coming because I didn't qualify. I didn't have enough matches. Now, the all-time leaderboard, I didn't have enough matches either. But yesterday, the synchronizing had occurred. And then yesterday is when I took the first place overall and the 90 days. No one saw me coming because until the sync before yesterday, I didn't qualify. That's why I was never on the board. So I'm just literally this guy that any of these people, if they're looking, are going, who is this guy? He wasn't on the board. I wasn't. As you can see, including today, I have 104. Well, I'm sorry, incorrect. Haha. This is from sync. There's 2 games missing, which are the 2 that I played. So I have 106 battles total, but I have 104 on the sync of the leaderboard. So this was yesterday's number, 63.95. That's what they saw, was this. And they're like, who is this guy? Well, actually, not yesterday. That was this morning, actually. I forgot I played a couple of games, right? Let's go back to 90 days. Let's go back. I played one game yesterday. So yeah, basically it was a little bit lower. It was a little bit lower than 63.95. But today, as you saw, well, this morning it was 63.95 on the last sync, but after today's 2 games, 67.86, it's gone even higher. All right, so this is kind of the general drift of how this is working on the Win 8 on their scoreboard. So in the end, this is day number 2 of me as the number 1 tier 2 U.S. artillery guy in all of World of Tanks console, PlayStation or Xbox. As you can see, the green are Xbox guys, the blues are PlayStations. But this guy was sitting up there, and I looked at his number, and I go, my numbers are way better. I mean, look at those numbers. As you're seeing this, like this is my daily averages. You're annihilated. Now, the problem is the reason I was 6,000 plus is because I had 70 games of back in the early days when I was just playing to win specifically. And I didn't know all the things that I know now about commanders and all this other stuff to maximize the full effect. It was just, random junk. So I'm smarter now. And so I had to overcome, and these monster scores told me I was going to overcome my previous, decent play. I was a good player. My good play would be compensated by my super play that's recent. And that's the key. So that's what happened. That's how I took over the number one spot. All I needed was the qualifying number of games. As you can see, we'll go right down here. Come here. It'll tell you. There it is. All time, you need 100 minimum battles to qualify on any board. So there you go. And I was short of games. And so when I got those games yesterday, Shazam, I saw the number that I was, getting. And I knew that was a qualifier. Now down here, we go all the way down. Again, these are session stats. Unfortunately, you can't see the July 3rd or the June 24th, but they were quite good. July 3rd was a couple of games, maybe 2 or 3. Wasn't very many. It was an experimental period. The June 24th game was a goof-off game that we just say, hey, that'd be fun if we did it. We did it. That was it. Fine. The July 3rd was, hey, wait a second. Maybe I'm onto something here. And so that was a scientific test. We're going to test this and see what I got. I had a good score. I'm like, okay, it was kind of hard to get matches. And so I started goofing around after that. Sunday was a big goof around day. It was like, you know what? Let me see this. I'm sending messages to guys. And so I was typing up messages on here to different players. And I kept getting matches randomly. And so since I was sending messages, I was occupying the 5-minute wait time. Sometimes I'd do 5 minutes and wait and get nothing. And I'd finish the message I sent to somebody and go back and start another one. 5-minute cycle time. So it was really a pain in the butt. Like I said, I got 9 games in one day. Well, it was mostly in the evening. After 6 p.m. to about midnight. So in about 6 hours, I got 9 matches. That's how horrible it was. So, I'm just giving you the heads up on that one. So here, let's see. Let's go get rid of this. All right. Let's get rid of this dude. Go back here. There we go. All right. T1HMC. And this will show you. Whoops, let's get rid of that. I said get rid of it. There you go. All right. This is your total battles. This is your win rate percentage. Total 66.04. Very good win rate. Etc. Etc. All these different stats here. Penetrations, and spots, and bounce, and whatever. Surviving 62% of the time, also a very good result. It shows you your highest class badge. Man, in my awesome games, I just haven't had a good enough opportunity to do better than a first class. I don't know what the mastery badge for this is. Now, in a 7-man game, I had a game yesterday, which is that 28,000. So I killed 6 guys, got a first-class badge, and I had over 1,000 damage. So I don't know. Probably I need a 15-man game, 15 versus 15. And I'm going to have to get lucky and kill probably 6 minimum, but doing a lot of damage. And hopefully that there's not a lot of tier 3s because, I'm going to need a lot of protection. So it's one of those things. Could I get the mastery? I could. Will I get it? Who knows? Because it's kind of tough because the reload is pretty slow, relatively speaking, in a tier 2 artillery. It doesn't hit with a big hammer. So who knows? It's like you do the best you can and whatever happens, happens. But like I said, I'm going to show you the game that I had yesterday, which was a really good score. So that will be fun. Well, it'll be fun for me anyway. So, and your list has this for yourself. If you go to the Watt Stars, which you'll see at the very top, WOTstars.com, you go here, you type in your name, and it'll show up. Usually after, depending, 4 or 5 or 6 letters, you'll see a list. It starts trimming down of the different ones. After I type in like Duke N, there you go. It shows up. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. So now let's go. Welcome to the mines, where most of my matches are played for this tank. All right. So this was myself plus 6 robots versus another artillery with 6 robots. Yes. And this match takes longer than you might think. I think it was a little over 5 minutes. So I've seen historically they're going to spawn and spread out, obviously, from the base. And I'll catch someone in this area. There we go. Bang. That's a miss. A miss. When it flashes color, that's a hit. That was a hit from another guy. That's a hit from me. Boom. And he's dead, Jim. Not the greatest. Another hit. Not the greatest visual. Another kill. And 3. So that's 3 right there. I'm sorry, make it. That's 2. Somebody else hit him. I think he gets whacked. Yeah, he got whacked. So those 3 guys right there in the water, they're done. So they've only killed 1 guy. Now I've switched because I got a shot over here on this guy who's spotted. And he just whacked our M2 light. So I've still got a spot on him. I'm waiting for the closure. Takes forever sometimes. Tag, baby. Got about, what, 3/4 off of him? Got him. That's 3. There's the enemy artillery. But it gets a little interesting, more so than what you see here. At this point, they've only got 3 guys left, and I see them all. So I know that I don't have anything to worry about with any sneak attacks, which is very nice. And that's really the most important thing for me. Oh, you nailed that dude, you freak. The artillery has popped off, but he's still alive. And they've all gone dark. Realistically, that wasn't the smartest move. I did this probably 20 or 30 seconds later than I should have. I should have moved up to the center mine. Now I'm moderately fast. But since they were all in the north area of the mine, it's unlikely they're going to the actual ramp, which is where I'm going. And I have got, then there we go, we see them again, they're still there. So these guys are going to be easy pickings for me when I get up on top of the mine. I looked, I'm like, I don't have a shot. The gun, the bullet doesn't curve that much, you know, like a rainbow. So just go up the hill, and I'm going to have killer right bumper shots. And what that means is auto lock without using the artillery view. You might even consider this to be an extended extra bonus lesson from Duke's Artillery School. Bam! Tag. So that's a right bumper shot. Right bumper shot. Right bumper lock. and I lost my shot. And no problem. Boom, he's gone. 4, that's 4. Okay, so now we have what's really crazy what happens. So I don't know if those guys went around this way or not. Because they were over here or here, and I'm looking at maybe they've gone this direction. It's all a guessing game. We lost our spots. Yeah, there he is. There's the artillery. And I was turning around to go look for him. Like, oh, you spotted? Oh, freak. So let me go over there. And then I lost the spot. I'm like, you freak. So I was me spotting him. Because you can see my guys are down here. They weren't spotting this guy up here. It was just the luck of the draw that I got a brief spot of that guy. And I lost it, and I never got it back from here. So, you know, you're sitting here thinking, man, where is this guy? Now, we knew he was there about Bravo 7. So we know he's there in the vicinity, but let's not be crazy. So I said, well, you know what? I realized what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the north side, which is like Delta 6. And look over the edge again and see what I can find. Very interesting. So I don't know if he went back to his base. There he is, that jerk. I tagged him with the right bumper. And then this jerk shows up. Look at this freak. So when I was coming over here, he was blocked by the mine, and I had to get the heck out of Dodge. This guy's gonna kill me. I gotta move. So what I gotta do, for some reason he was, you know, running away. I don't know, he's killing me. I don't know why he's running, he's undamaged. I knew I was in major league trouble if he comes around the corner. I don't want any part of that. 300 hit points. I only hit for like maybe 110. So here it's like, I'm just trying to get him spotted, and I'll just keep this mine in between him and me. Because he spots me, he'll insta-kill me. Spoiler alert, I did not get insta-killed. Because realistically, you know, I'm the only one that has any kind of a brain. These robots, you know, they do the weirdest stuff, so who the heck knows. So I'm just trying to get a spot so I can keep this guy away from me. That was an accident, not intended, but it's okay. And I thought, well, you know what? Maybe this guy has gone to my base. I'm not sure. But clearly he's not trying to hunt me down. Usually they try to hunt me down, which is really crazy. I thought, I got to get out of here. That guy is way too powerful. And, you know, I already hit the enemy artillery, so he's a one-shot kill, and I was a one-shot kill after that guy drilled me. I thought about going to the base because I got two guys there, and I go, oh, great. Some idiot went to my base. Now, I wasn't sure. Was it the artillery or was it the robot? Now, the robot is full health. The artillery, I drilled him, and so I thought, you know, he's probably not in the... It's probably not the artillery. It's probably that robot. He disappeared and went to my base. Which seems the most logical conclusion to have happened, but you never know. So I'm trying to swing out and get a shot before I want to go to the top of the mine, but if that droid was just stuck, bet he'll butcher me. And that's when I saw the artillery there. You see the artillery. I go, oh man, I'm going to go get this guy. This is the guy I want it to be. I want it to be the robot. I can drill him from here. He'll never have a shot at me, because I have a better viewing range than he does. And if I guess wrong, I'm dead, because he'll one-shot kill me. But I hit him. He had no clue. Got him. He's toast. This game is basically won. Now the problem is I can't reach the enemy artillery with my positioning. That's probably the guy that kills him. The T-60. Because that guy doesn't have any meat on the bone to speak of. He's a one-shot kill like myself. And he got him. So that is indicative of the type of matches that I get in this tank. And for some reason, my George Patton face shows up sometimes and doesn't show up other times. Go figure. So, terrific game. You know, first win of the day as well. That's why I get a 10,000 plus commander bonus or commander experience. The additional earnings was the Red Stripe first win of the day bonus. So killer game, 5 kills, 1,400 damage. This is another first class performance. So there's the duelist. Destroy at least 2 guys that damaged me. The fighter, you kill 4 or 5 enemies, because if you kill 6, you get a top gun. Bruiser, knock out crews or modules. Stark metal, driving artillery, destroy at least 2 enemy vehicles and receive at least 2 enemy hits. Well, I got that all right. High caliber, did the most damage. 1,400 is a lot in tier 2. And then, ta-da, first class badge. Outstanding. Second time I have gotten that badge that I know of. Might be the third, but whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't know about that ace badge, man. I may never get that. Don't know, because the numbers have probably been pushed up by people like myself. For example, every match I get a first class badge pushes the 99 percentile for the ace badge even higher. So, yeah, I'm not helping my own cause every time I fail. So, whatever. It doesn't matter. You get it or you don't. You're just as good as you are. It doesn't really matter. It's just like, it's a nice, bonus collectible. So this was an example of what I've been doing. Just kicking monkey butt in this tier 2 tank like a predator. I have been like the predator. That's one of my pirate emblems. Dead men tell no tales. Obviously my 9th year badge, because I had this from almost day 1. Whatever it was, it's possibly I had this from day 2. I don't even know. But it doesn't really matter. I had it as soon as it was available. So, I don't know. Whenever that was is whenever that was. So, like I said, it was really amazing to see the information and then realize that there was an opportunity in this tank to see if I could get enough matches to qualify for the leaderboard. And that when I did qualify, I was going to be the top dog. I got matches against the British Lloyd gun carriage. I got matches against the German, whatever, Mark II, American, the same thing, T1 HMC. I don't know if I got matches against anything else, like the French or the Russian. I think I did get a match against the Russian. But I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter. the point is here is that I was working on this project and I really was keeping it generally secret. Only a handful of guys knew, because I didn't want to go through this and do all this stuff and have it fail, because I wasn't sure if the leaderboards were still currently active. There was no way to really test that except do it yourself. Okay. So when I told Bernie, he was working on SU-76M and he was on the 90-day leaderboard. So at that point, I thought, wow, he's on the 90-day leaderboard, so it's current. At least the 90-day leaderboard is. Okay, I'll dominate that. I knew that my score was way higher than those guys. Well, because there was no 90-day board, that's the thing. No one had played enough matches. You got to have a 30-match minimum to get on the 90-day board. So, yeah, there was none. I go, well, I'll be number one there once I get 30 matches, because no one has any. You just can't get matches in that tank. You try and you're going to go, oh, my God, dude, you got to be a psycho. And you're right. You got to be a psycho. I knew that I was going to be at the top of the board 1, 2, or 3 early on. And as I kept going, it was more obvious that I was going to be not only number one, but number one plus. And I was looking to bust that guy pass him by at least 1,000. So whenever this guy decides to wake up and look and goes, oh, what the heck was that? Well, that was me. So this is kind of the long and convoluted explanation of this master plan that I had hatched and then executed. And it was kind of bogus, because I didn't play a lot of other matches because I was, getting rejected. 5 minutes, reject. 5 minutes, reject. 5 minutes, reject. It's kicking me back. I'm like, it doesn't matter. If I can continue and complete this quest. Well, you saw the answer. This was the ultimate goal, as you see it right here. Oh, that's the 90-day list. All right, so we'll go back and get the... Let's go and scroll this. There we go, all the way. So this was the ultimate goal of my quest, to hit the board number one, and then, keep going and press my advantage, because it's so hard for people to get matches. It's unlikely that anybody else is going to be psychotic enough to do what I did. And then good luck trying to match my numbers, dude, because you've seen them. They're crazy. So, I'll try and get a game a day or whatever, as long as I can. At some point, they're all going to dry up for all practical purposes, and it will leave them, kind of high and dry. But anyway, you guys saw this. This is the legit number one score for this tank. And so it's nice to be back. I've done this before, not in this game, but in other games. The last time I did this was the summer of 2010 on an Xbox Live Arcade. So, and that score is still live, by the way, so it's kind of funny. I just don't mention it. But now, you guys got to see what I was planning, how I did it, and what I did. And I found something where I could get there. The problem with other tanks is that I have, as a long-term player, if you have too many matches, it'll take too long before you could ever bring a score up. So that's one of the problems that I have in some of my other tanks, where I have literally several tanks where I have 3,000 battles. Those ratings aren't going to change. Nothing you could do. So it had to be low enough to have some movement room reasonably. So that's one of those things. But it was really good, because I thought it'd be really helpful to post this so people could see, wow. So when you see my artillery school video, if you haven't watched it and you weren't sure, this is one of the things that Mastery of Artillery provided me. And as you can see, I'm quite a master. I mean, there's things that I know that I learned, the finer technical things that I learned in the last year of playing Sexton Artillery, that was the icing on the cake or the cherry on top of the sundae. So if you're wondering, go check out my artillery school video. I'm not saying you're going to end up being number one on any artillery anywhere, but hey, you never know. Anything is possible once you know, that the problem is gaining the skills to get to that level. Because you saw that game, you know, you don't have to be perfect. And I clearly wasn't perfect, but I'm really, really, really good. I, got away from that cruiser and eventually gave him the payback that he so richly deserved. I was trying to kill that person because if I could have gotten him, who knows, maybe that puts me over the top for a mastery. I doubt it because he didn't have hardly any hit points left. I mean, I drilled him, as you saw, from the top of the mine. I gave him the right bumper beating like you wouldn't believe. And that's another thing, right bumper mastery, knowing where to go to get the shots, how to do it, etc., is another level of stuff. And then playing it the way I play it. I was telling other guys that when they see it, they're like, "Wow, dude, how do you do that?" I go, "Well, I've been playing artillery since day one of whenever it was available." Okay, but that's just about day one of this game. And over 9 years, I've become a predator. I'm like a shark in an artillery, in an end of the game situation like you saw in this one. I'm wandering, I'm swimming around the map like a shark, looking for the meal. But that's, comes with complete mastery of your tank and understanding things it can do, things it can't do. And positioning is so important. One of the things that separates, good from very good players and very good from masters is all in their positioning. And my positioning, well, let's just say it's really good, okay? I don't want to brag, but just got to tell you that's just the way it is. So I hope that you guys found this at least academically interesting. I hope it wasn't too like Ben Stein, Bueller. It gets sometimes a little monotone or redundant. Just a little. I don't like to do this kind of video in general, but it has to be done because I've got to get the info out there so people can look at it and go, wow, I know this guy's pretty good, but now you know why. I was able to go and snag a very difficult thing to get. To get number one on any tank at any time is quite difficult because you're going to have to build skills. And you don't really have the option of building the skills in the specific tank you're doing it from a beginner all the way up to a grandmaster level, because you're going to build too many matches and then it's going to take too long for your grandmaster skills to counteract what you scored as a beginner in that tank. And so this one was one where I had played it in the beginning and I just stopped playing it. So I came back over 8 years later and it's like I'm flexing my muscles like Superman. It's like, because now I'm a Superman of artillery and I do things that other people, don't see. I mean, I had a great game yesterday with Brownie and he was just, and he's a terrific player and he's flabbergasted. And, you know, we got to a 3 versus 1, 3 of them against me, and they were all close to my base. And it's not good, dude. I'm like, we're screwed here, but I'm going to give it a shot. So it was an awesome comeback. I'm going to see if I can get that game and show it. It's another awesome game in artillery. And you'll see it, and it has to be. If I tell you what happened, there's literally no chance you believe me, because it's just fantasy. You're like, you're not going to kill 3 guys that roll up on you simultaneously, and they surrounded me. Oh, well, you know, you have to see it for yourself. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It would really help a lot to give it a like so that other people can see this, and that when I say I'm an artillery specialist, I mean exactly that, and you see that here. Actually, there's one other thing I'll show you. All right. When I say I'm an artillery specialist, I'm not making this up. Look at these scores. Artillery. 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 I just got this last night. I was goofing around with it. I'm goofing around with a brand new artillery I never ever played. Look, 5 total matches. A 3,900 score in a goofing around artillery I've never had. And I upgraded it probably in like 2 or 3 games. Artillery. Artillery. I'm not joking. Now the other ones are like, those are okay scores in the other tanks, whatever. But you see this purple, which is, you know, where the big stuff lies. This is all artillery. I'm an artillery specialist. I do my greatest work as an artillery man. And I saw that yesterday. I was like, wow, dude, I know I'm good, but geez, I didn't know I was that good. So people will see I am an artillery specialist. So I hope you can really help me out with a like. Spread the word. When people see this, it's gonna knock their socks off. And I should gain some more subscribers when they go, wow, this dude actually knows what he's talking about. And, you know, that's all it is. It's just no big deal. I help people when I can. That way, when they got artillery questions, they can ask me, and I'll tell you. And when, you know, it's one thing to go, wow, that guy looks pretty good. He got good videos. But those could be cherry-picked. I mean, they're not cherry-picked in the context of trying to present something that isn't true. But they are cherry-picked because the videos I show have a value as an object lesson, like this last game I showed you, or they have a story behind them that was an amazing story, like the one I'm going to show you from Severogorsk yesterday. It wasn't that great of a match, and it got to the end. It was 3 versus 1, and well, spoiler alert, only one man survived. So there's something there. I don't just show you, oh, look, here's a generic artillery match. Who cares? I have multiple matches that I haven't shown you that are awesome results for myself. There was a couple of tier 10 matches that Bernie and I were in. I got MVPs in those, but they're really not visually good, because I can't show you the artillery view. It's just a bunch of shooting for like 25 shots. Okay, and they were longer matches. Are they awesome because I got a tier 10 MVP in a tier 8 artillery? They're awesome. And, you know, they're scientifically maybe valuable to show you that, oh, yes, it's been done. Here it is. But it's not, you don't want to watch it. I'm telling you, I was there. You don't want to watch it. I have some others I'll show you. You know, I want to show you the things that are more interesting, that have some extra value. Not, I hate watching guys who go, oh, here's a match I played, and it's who cares? Okay, tier 10 is what they like to show you. Ooh, look at me, I played tier 10. Ooh, you know, whatever. You play tier 10 matches, and, you know, he does really well. Maybe he gets an MVP. But it's just generic garbage. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that he won a game. Congratulations, you're a really great player. Fantastic. And how does that help me? Unless you're doing that tank and learning something specifically, what's the point? I mean, how many of those are you interested in watching? Yeah, it's great that you're a top-notch player. That's fantastic. But you got to have something extra. You know, I do show those matches, but I'm not the tier 10. I'm the guy, the one that's the most recently on my channel is my Astron Rex tier 8 medium tank. I got a tier 10 MVP of that, and that was because Brownie had a genius idea. So it's not really me that I'm showing the situation. He got the idea, and so I'm with you, man. So we went and did it, and it worked out great for me personally, but it was really about his genius idea that a kid of his age should not have. And it was absolutely magnificent. So there's an extra story there of excellence that you just don't see anywhere else. So, hey, thanks again for watching. Probably went kind of long, but what are you going to do? So I'm going to go look for that Severogorsk artillery match and see if I can get that for you so you guys can see that and see what I was talking about here. So I will see you guys later.